Daskatis, do you remember that old Daskatis outside cinema halls where tickets were sold in black? There were these individuals who would buy tickets in bulk and sell them outside the theaters at double or triple the price. This was possible in the pre digitalization era when people had to visit theaters in person to buy tickets, especially during the 70s, 80s, and early 2000s, the decades. Um, so, this practice was known as ticket blacking. It was carried out by ticket blackers and it was very rampant until the online booking systems came along. With the digitalization and rise of the internet, ticket blacking largely disappeared, but now it's back and it's bigger than ever. This time, the attack is happening on a much larger scale. It's completely online, and the people behind it find it far easier to remain hidden. This attack has evolved into what we now call ticket scalping. It is the practice of using bots to bulk buy tickets from licensed sources and then sell them for a profit. And the tickets can be of any type, it's not limited to concerts and music events, but it often involves major sports and music events. And sometimes you might also hear this referred to as ticket touting or ticket reselling. So, in this video, we will explore how ticket scalping is carried out, how it works, who are the players behind it, and what are the cybersecurity controls that can be implemented to prevent this. So, in recent months in India, ticket scalping became a major issue for fans because there were a lot of big events that were happening in India. Big bands like Coldplay, artists like Diljit Dosanjh and Bryan Adams, they were holding their concerts across the country. But many fans, they were struggling to buy their tickets at their original price. And take Diljit's concert for instance, it was heavily trolled even online by the fans that the tickets are so expensive. They are, why the star has kept the tickets so expensive for his shows. And as I said earlier, this isn't limited to concert, it has spread to sports events as well. During last year's World Cup in India, cricket fans, they took to social media to complain that tickets were being resold at 10, 20, or even 50 times their original price, and this was robbing the fans from having an experience of watching a cricket match at the stadium. And yeah, so who are the players behind this modern day black market? So, in my research, I found that there are these two major platforms that are involved: Viagogo and Gigsberg. These are the secondary reseller websites that buy tickets in bulk and resell them at inflated prices, whether it's for music concerts, or sporting events. And these platforms, they have a massive infrastructure of servers and highly sophisticated bots powered by artificial intelligence. So the artificial intelligence powered bots, they are making this attack possible for these platforms, and they can scoop up tickets within seconds from primary ticket platforms for any event. So who are the primary ticketing platforms? They are basically platforms like BookMyShow, Paytm Insider. These are primary ticket sellers who, for a small platform fee, sell you the ticket at its almost original price. And globally, there is this Ticketmaster and Eventbrite, which handle ticket sales for larger concerts and sports matches and other events. So, what happens in ticket scalping is that the moment an event or concert is announced and tickets are made available on these primary platforms, the secondary resellers like Viagogo and Gigsberg, they swing into action by unleashing their AI powered bots, which are designed to outsmart these platforms. They their bots can mask the IP address and locations. They can bypass the security mechanisms and they can scoop up the tickets within minutes from these primary ticket sellers, and they will leave the fans empty handed. By the time the fans then try to buy tickets, they are already sold out, and as a result, then they have to forcefully rely on these secondary platforms to buy the tickets and have the experience of the event. So let's discuss now how this can be prevented. What are the cybersecurity controls that can be implemented? The first one is the old school vulnerability assessment method, very effective, very foundational. Every ticket selling platform should implement this to protect against tickets scalping. The platforms, they must have these cybersecurity controls implemented. They must have a vulnerability assessment process implemented, because for years cybersecurity has been treated as an afterthought during website development, and as a result, then many ticketing platforms, they will have unpatched vulnerabilities which the scalpers can exploit. And with the rise of AI, exploiting these vulnerabilities with new logic has become easier. So platforms must conduct regular vulnerability assessments to identify the logic, security flaws, bugs in their website code, and then fix it. If not regularly, they should at the very least, before any major events are announced, they should run these thorough assessments and patch any exploitable codes, any logic that a AI can exploit, or any new logic that a AI can explore. So the platform should make use of AI to beat the AI by using AI powered vulnerability scanners, which can tell you what are the new logics that can be used to exploit a code. Those kind of exploitable logics should be patched with a new patching. Then there could be a limited ticket purchase per user which can be implemented. This should be implemented along with a strong identity verification system, where some kind of identity proof is demanded from the user. A mandatory sign up is needed from the user before a ticket can be bought. Also, if there are any bulk ticketing purchase observed, then those should be in millisecond, then those should be revoked and kept in a cooling off period of say 30 minutes or 10 minutes for identity verification, and the user must be asked to prove its identity. Then a queue-based allocation algorithm. This is also a suggestion from various security researchers, security consultants in the cybersecurity world, who are suggesting that a queue-based allocation algorithm can also help. What is a queue-based allocation system? A queue-based allocation system is a system where tickets are distributed through a randomized algorithm, similar to how IPOs in the stock market are allocated. So instead of doing a first come first serve basis for ticket purchase, a randomized allocation system can be implemented, where you can invite fans to bid for tickets, and the system will allocate them fairly, regardless of whether they apply on the first day or the last day of the sale. So before an event for 2 to 4 days, the platforms can invite bids from the fans for ticket purchase. The fans can submit their bids along with the price, and then the system on the last day can allocate them fairly through a randomized distribution system, randomized algorithm distribution. This can reduce the advantage of the bots, which so the bots have the advantage of the speed, right? They can rush in to purchase these tickets. So by a randomization method through a queue-based allocation algorithm, you are inviting the bids, but at the same time you are distributing them through a randomization system. Then, along with queue-based allocation algorithm, a UPI mandate for purchases should also be made compulsory. So inspired by the Indian stock market's IPO system, many platforms, they implement these UPI mandates for ticket purchases. So whenever a user attempts to buy a ticket, a UPI mandate is generated in his payment app, and then the user must manually approve the mandate through their payment app before the purchase is confirmed. So such kind of multi-step processes can also become harder for the bots to cover. And with the growing adoption of credit cards supporting UPI, like RuPay credit cards, this method can add an effective layer of security even for credit card purchases, like the tickets that are purchased through credit cards. Solve this can give additional layer of security there as well. So similar to IPO system, where when you bid for an IPO in a stock market, you have the UPI generated in your payments app, you have to accept that, then your bid is submitted, and then based on a queue based allocation algorithm, you are allotted the IPO. So in the same way, I mean, using the combination of queue based allocation algorithm plus UPI mandate, you can implement this multi-step process to stop the bots from conducting this attack. Then progressive challenges. To beat the AI powered bots, platforms must use AI driven security controls, that is, use AI to beat AI, which can dynamically monitor user behavior. The system can analyze traffic, purchase patterns, and account activity to detect suspicious behavior such as bulk purchases within milliseconds. As I said earlier, that if you have an AI system that can monitor user behavior, and if there are any bulk purchases made within milliseconds, then those purchases should be revoked until a proper verification is done. And if also for suspicious activities, you can implement progressive challenges, that is additional puzzles or additional captchas that bots cannot solve. You can implement a cooling off period in the progressive challenge, where you ask the user to wait for 10 or 30 minutes before they're making additional purchases. Implement multi verification steps like email or phone OTPs. So by implementing these progressive challenges, then platforms, they can significantly increase the effort required for the bots to succeed, and making ticket scalping far less viable. So yeah. But now there is one more question that comes to mind, that why should the platforms, these primary ticketing platforms, why they should care about implementing these cybersecurity controls? Because think about it, these platforms are getting their revenue anyway, right? Whether it's a bot or a human buying the ticket, they are still selling out. So why they should care, why they should invest in cybersecurity, and how in the long term it will also affect these primary platforms. So let's discuss that on the next slide. Because implementing the cybersecurity controls would come at a cost, right? And it would be an additional expense for the primary ticketing platforms. So one reason is protecting the reputation and trust. For any platform, reputation is everything. If tickets are constantly sold out within seconds on their platform, fans will start to lose trust. Think about a customer who visits the platform for every major event, whether it's a Coldplay concert or a cricket match, and never gets a ticket. Eventually, they will feel disappointed and frustrated. Your customer base will start to reduce. Over this time, fans will start looking for alternatives. They'll feel like these platforms don't care about fairness. This can cause platforms to lose loyal customers and damage their brand image. Then, this fourth point, competition also matters. What if another ticketing platform implements these controls first? Imagine a scenario where fans realize that one platform is taking steps to ensure fairness, using security controls to stop bots and scalpers. Naturally, fans will start trusting that platform more. Competition will drive away fans from platforms that do nothing to solve this problem. So implementing these controls isn't just about fairness; it's also about staying ahead in the competition game. Then regulatory compliance. Governments around the world are stepping into regulating the ticketing platforms, not just from now, but even from 2009 2010. There is some ticketing act, I forget about it, in Australia, where Um, Nobody's where if any event is flagged as major event and declared as major event by the government, then no reseller is allowed to sell the tickets um, more than the 10% of the face value. Also, there are some laws coming in where ticketing platforms through regulations are forced to implement cybersecurity controls that can distinguish between bots and real users. And if platforms fail to implement these security controls, then heavy fines and penalties can be levied upon them. So these regulations are spreading globally, and I hope such rules will also come to India as well. So through regulatory pressure, through policy push, governments can force the platforms to implement these cybersecurity controls. So the sooner the platforms implement this, it is better. And then there is this long-term cost benefit analysis. Yes, cybersecurity feels like an expense in the short term, I agree, but it's an investment with long-term benefits. A secure platform means fewer attacks, happier customers, a, a big loyal customer base. It builds the trust in the brand. Fans know they'll get a fair shot at buying tickets. Over the time, these platforms will enjoy greater loyalty, and more importantly, they will have a sustainable business model. So, what it seems like an added cost today, it actually protects the business for the future. So, the bottom line is, at first at first glance, it may seem like ticket scalping only affects fans, but when you look closer, when you take a zoomed in view, it also impacts the platform. You will realize this. Losing trust, losing customers, facing competition, and dealing with regulations, it all adds up. That's why implementing cybersecurity controls is essential, not just for the fans, but for the platforms as well. So I hope with this video I have given you a good insight on what ticket scalping is, which are some of the players that are carrying out this, and how it is carried out and how it can be prevented, and then why the cybersecurity control should be implemented by the platforms to stop this ticket scalping. If you have benefited from this video, then do like and share and subscribe. I will see you in the next video then. Thank you so much for your time.